What's up, everybody? It's your local preacher, Hired Atkins here. Well, today I'm going to talk about when I went from um, 101st to Fort Bliss, Texas, to be with 501 Second Cap FCS, Future Combat Systems Tester. And so when I arrived, I had to log in my weapons and everything to the armory, and then Uh, I got sent out to the field because that's where everybody else was, and um, like any new guy, you want to, be out there first, to be out there testing stuff. And for spec, new guy, but not new to the army. But um, so we're out gathering a group, and um, my squad leader and the rest of the platoons, whatever, they're on the hillside there, where the tents are, about 200 feet, 300 feet that way. And they're on a berm there. And uh, the squad leader says, the new squad leader, uh, thin guy, kind of short, but not short, shorter than me. Uh, I don't remember his name, but he told me, if you can hear me, raise your hand. So I went like that. And then he said, higher. And I do like this. And he says, higher. And you like this. And every time I'm raising up my hand higher, everybody around them is sitting there laughing their ass off about it, like I'm the joke. And then he says higher again, so I flip the bird on my tippy toes, and uh, he says over the radio, he's like, "When you get back, come see me." I'm like, "Roger, sir," you know. And then my team leader, Sergeant Moore, Moore, because we have another more Mohr. So, but HR was Alpha team, and I was Bravo team, Sergeant Double O. And I'm doing push-ups, and Sergeant Moore is like, "Why'd you do it?" I'm like, "Don't fuck with me." And then I don't remember much of that squad leader because he got moved on somewhere else, and um, my new squad leader was Sergeant Seiss, but I called him Sergeant Cisse, black French guy, and he was cool. He was a Muslim. He did the Hajj and everything, took leave and everything, and came back. But at first, he didn't like me. Uh, One time he says, "I eat your face." I'm like, and then later on, he's like, "I'm sorry, Atkins. I didn't mean to say I eat your face." I'm like, "Don't worry about it, sorry. I don't even know what that means." I thought it was funny. And then while I was out there, uh, another time, see, when I first got there, I got the Delta Company, and there's five guys that came from 101st and went to Future Combat Systems. Was Robbie Robertson from First Platoon, Matthew Heckman, Michael Brown, specialist. All these are specialists. Uh, Brendan Brown, and then and me. So we all went to, uh, for Bliss together. So so I got sent to Delta Company, and Brown got sent to Charlie Company, and I call it DAC because when our uh, our platoons got switched around, because our we got moved from uh, Delta Company to Apple Company to Charlie Company, then Charlie Company moved to just the infantry platoons, moved to the Charlie Company, went moved to Delta Company. So Michael, he got moved from the line of infantry to the Humvee trucks in Delta Company, and I got moved to Alpha Company with my squads, two squads, and then moved to Charlie Company. And so Michael, since he's done cut me, he got to ride in Humvees and everything. And while we load up on Gatorade powder and all that in our trucks, because we had to ride in those LMTVs and or walk up to the directive, Mock City, and so we've seen it as like they load up on Mountain Dew and everything because they carry around in their Humvee trucks. Got little trailers on the back, so they got to haul that for their testing stuff. FCS is made up of 80% of one or two multiple combat tours, and they wanted ideas from current past to improve their prototypes. And we had to do dog and pony shows to demonstrate how they work and all that, so they could sell them to DoD. So these dog and pony shows, we had to pop smoke. We had to walk across clicks of land to get to the objective. Mounting. We also had tanks, especially at night. They have the light on, and if you get scanned by the light, it makes you dead. And I told Sergeant Cisse one time, I was like, "Why don't we just get fucking lit up by the tank? Then we don't have to travel across the desert." And we laughed about it. The sergeant major and the lieutenant colonel wanted all the platoons to recertify themselves, moving as a squad, uh, team, platoon, battalion across the desert. So after doing team live fire in the buildings, um, this is when PFC Coronado and we had saws at the same time at this moment, but because he was in Alpha Team, and but we're doing free flowing through the buildings, and as he entered and I entered at the same time, and we were just lighting up the targets, and because the ones you shoot and the targets drop, and it was, I mean, for that moment, I felt it was badass because it had two saws going off in the same room, uh, live ammo, and then we did squad live fires, and before we started on squad live fires, uh, we had to do a because we had the medics, we had a lot of about to get old IVs, so we did a class, um, and there's one guy in my team. At first, he wouldn't let me do his stick because I was like, I can do it. And he's like, I'll wait for the medic. I was like, come on, man, let me do it. I got it. And he's all right. So bloop, you know, I stuck him, and every year or so, you got to get recertified and Eagle First Responder. So it was a good, refresher because you just need to get a flash to get recertified. And then we're doing squad live fire, and uh, my 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 squad would just get done doing uh, the flanking, and after we did the lace reports, liquid ammo and all that stuff, ups on everything, and I'm standing there with my saw, and Perkins, he was in Alpha Team. He's standing right there next to me, and then we see targets popping up and down in the distance. And I was like, "Hey, Sergeant, are those targets in play?" And my team leader, Sergeant Moore, he's like, "Where are they at?" And so I was like, right there, uh, right when I pointed, uh, squad leader is like, "Yeah, they're in play." So as I'm going up, to shoot a 3M burst. Perkins, we came up together and I shot a 3M burst and he shot a couple rounds and target went down and we had a little confrontation between us who shot it first. But from then on, we start bounding it up, and we had the sergeant major and lieutenant colonel following us, uh, and as we're getting further on down, I get black on ammo, and I yell black, and Ramirez is right next to me. Uh, the E4 that was beside that 1E6 that had me raise my hand, uh, and I called black. He threw me a third round mag, and I threw it in the side, and I started shooting, and I had no problems because I'm proficient. And uh, at the end, the sergeant major was talking about my squad, how proficient we were, and laying down, getting the targets down, and uh, moving through the objective. And then at the end, they brought the Bradleys out to shoot a couple uh, tow missiles. The first one that was on the Humvee, it went and hit the target. And then uh, when the Bradley pulls up, it shoots and it started going towards the right direction. Then the core snapped, and all of us, if you guys jumped behind the Humvee and everything, and that thing was. uh, and then when we got our AR, then we're done at that time. So, how many of you used Miles 2005? Now, the Miles 2005, I liked it a whole lot better because uh, on the head harness, you don't have a battery pack, and it allows you to move freely because the old Miles has a battery pack on your harness back here and a battery pack on your helmet, and uh, with having nods on, it's pretty irritating because you can't really relax your neck, fully functional, because the harness and the helmet battery pack will connect. And but anyway, so and another thing about Miles 2005, it all is controlled and recorded what you shoot at from a headquarters part, and as everybody has their own little number and everything, and it records all your kills and everything back at this little shack, and it has a I don't know, about a couple click radius of recorded area, and that's how you know if the tanks shot you or whatever why you died. It goes over the whole layout, and so uh, this time at this time they stuck the platoon's worth of saw and 240 on top of the second-story building, and uh, everybody else, the rest of the platoon, are inside the buildings, and uh, so we're shooting and everything, and we get done, and we're at that shack, and they're like, the longest shot that I got, the longest shot over the 240s. I mean, I don't know how big the laser difference is, but they said I got the longest kill shot. So my platoon, we were doing train ups to do the EIB 12 miler, and we was doing the new EIB testing, and so we're doing like a 6 mile run march, and uh, my squad, we left at different times, whatever, and so my squad was the last squad, and uh, so we're walking along, we're passing squads and everything, and we're passing the the LT and the platoon sergeant, and the LT says, "Hey Atkins, what you got in there? Pillows?" I was like, "Nah, sir, we got your mama." And when I said that, Sergeant CC looked at me weird, kind of backed up. He's like, "Run backwards, jog backwards around uh, the squad as we're moving forward, as they're moving forward." And later after that, uh, we're in uh, the offices of the first sergeant and the CEO, and the LT's like, "You said, what do you say?" Uh, he made up another story, what I said, and I was like, "Right, sir," and he let me out. So um, another time, we get to play, dominoes, and we play cards. And at first, everybody liked playing against me because then it got to the point that they stopped playing with me because I always win and they didn't like too much. Um, so um, for some odd reason, uh, I got called to go play in a tent with a bunch of bigwigs, you know, and they only gave us about a few chips each, but we all grouped together, commanders of various uh, chain. I don't know who they were. My squad platoon sergeant and my LT's behind me as we're playing poker, Texas Hold'em. That was pretty fun. So we line up the whole platoon's saws, and I was the last guy on the right, and the squad leaders would and the team leader would following the the line of saws and have each one fire separately. And so as they're going through the line, each gun is pop pop ka-chunk, and then they pull it back ka-chunk. You know, nobody's is firing properly, and they get to me and they're like, Sergeant CC is like, "Fire your rifle." I'm like, "You serious?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "All right." And then uh, so come find out they wanted me to shoot expend the rest of the ammo for the saw ammo. So they linked like 800 rounds straight up, and Sergeant Ramirez comes up to me and he's like, "Wherever you do not lay off the trigger." I was like, "Right, Sergeant." So I'm saying like this, and everybody else hold my belt. And then I almost got done with the whole belt, but they said, "Cease fire, cease fire," but uh, that's pretty fun. So while we're out doing these places and mock villages and stuff, and um, we'll be standing around, and the Hispanic guys, they be talking to each other in Spanish, and I don't see nothing about it. But uh, towards the end, the platoon sergeant, Sergeant Self, uh, he got replaced by Sergeant Ramirez and Staff Sergeant. And so one day we're outside, and this and Sergeant Ramirez is with our squad doing PT, and we're we're done with PT and we're stretching out, and Coronado is to my left, and uh, I was like, "What's up, dude?" And Coronado says, "I don't know what you said." So I said, "Capasa me go." And right after I said it, and the squad was released, for breakfast chow and all that. Um, Sergeant Ramirez told Sergeant Cisse that he was going to send me to board because I'd be a bad influence upon soldiers. And then Sergeant Cisse came in directly and told me that's why they're not going to send me to the board, to the E5 board. So Sergeant Cisse was doing a going away party at his house and helped him finish loading stuff on his truck. I mean, everybody showed up for his going away party and have a move party, but after the food was gone, everybody left except for me, and I helped finish loading, help him load his U-Haul. I stuck his car trailer, on the U-Haul, and then I helped him load his Camaro onto the trailer, and I got it all hooked up and everything. And uh, he told me directly, he's like, "Yeah, everybody left, but you stuck around and helped me out." Then he gave me his personal graphite pull stick, and it's not the last time I seen Sergeant Cisse. I seen him when he was a staff sergeant when I was at the ALOC in 1327 at Brigade. I seen Cisse again as a staff sergeant in Afghanistan. Also, I got a AAM while I was there at before I left FCS. So Michael Brown, he ended up getting medboarded while at FCS. Uh, Matthew Heckman, he got promoted to staff sergeant, and Brendan Brown, he got married. Uh, as far as I know what happened to them. Besides Michael Brown. If you like this content, like and subscribe.